Hello folks, it's a wee while since I posted anything up regarding the Lomax, the 224. This will be my fourth attempt at this video today. I've had just nothing but interruptions every time I've done it. Somebody's either come to the door or something else happened that I've not been able to complete the video. So hopefully this time we will. But don't hold your breath. It's not been on the road for a wee while because of the weather here. But last week we had a nice day and I took it out for a run, and that was after fitting the new pipes for the exhaust system. The exhaust from the original Citroen manifold down to the Y section, just where this pipe goes up into the engine compartment, used old-fashioned kind of flexible pipes, like ridges on it. Not something I've ever come across previously, but apparently it's relatively common, and it was completely and utterly rotten. The wrap was basically holding it together, so it was leaking virtually all the way down these pipes. Not massive leaks, but enough. So it did tend to always sound a bit noisy, and I couldn't really tie it down exactly where it was coming from. So anyway, I got new stainless steel flexible pipes, polylock pipes, and fitted those with new brackets here, and the button clamps for round about the exhaust. So, and I've also done it again with a wrap. Unfortunately, I didn't take pictures with the bonnet off, and I've just put this new stuff round the side. It's bright blue, but I don't know, with a bit of bling. I need to clean all this up. With a bit of rot there. The original black stuff that was round about it was steel, and it's well, it was beginning to rust, and it wasn't really getting on very well with the alloy. The clips on these are alloy, so same material. So hopefully the rust situation won't be as quick, corrosion, etc. Anyway, we've done that. This side was a bit of a difficult one. I'm struggling trying to do these things with the spondylosis and the pins and needles and that in my hand and arms. So I find these jobs quite tricky, to be honest. I can't get it tight enough, but I've done my best. It seems to be okay. I've also redone the bit down here as well. That's all been done right up to the Y section. Car goes really well now, I have to say, much nippier than it was before. Mind at 652 big barrel kit. It's got 123 Tune Plus ignition and a Citroen Visa carburetor with a bit larger jets in it. So it pulls really quite well. Fuel consumption's reasonable. I wouldn't say it's great. Fuel consumption's probably in the mid 40s and touching 50, so long as I don't horse it along. So it's quite good, quite happy. There's a wee bits and pieces to do here. The bottom of the here you can see there's a little crack in the weld here, so the bracket here, so that needs a wee mig to sort that out, but all very small things. And what I was thinking of doing is actually getting a strap between here and here, so that will stiffen it up, because they waggle about a lot. As you can see, there's a lot of waggling going on there. You know, not very handy when you're driving along, to be honest, and it will weaken, of course, the joint. But we have the same bracketry here, so we can do the same thing, you know, to give it a wee bit more reinforcement. Stop the waggling. So that's one job that I will need to do. Engine wise, it's fine, running great, no complaints at all. Some wee jobs to do yet. Got the air horns to get the compressor connected up and working. Everything else is fine. The interior, we have changed the interior a wee bit. We've sorted out this panel, and on this panel we've added an oil pressure gauge, a vacuum gauge, and 3 switches and 2 warning lights. This is for the rear fogs. The warning light operates. The jet that I haven't completed the hazard lights. This will be the warning light for that. I'm making up my own circuit for that, and I'm changing all the LEDs, sorry, all the filament bulbs, and for the indicators to LEDs. So that's to brighter ones. Obviously these cars are quite vulnerable, so you want to be noticed as much as possible. So nice bright indicators. I've already done the tail and stop lights, the LEDs, which are considerably brighter than the original filament ones, so that helps as well. Headlights have actually got LED conversions in there. There's good beam pattern, so no complaints. Probably not technically legal, but as the MOT tester doesn't really get a look at this, so he's not going to fail it. if you understand what I mean. It's over 40 years old, and the kit was done over 30 years ago as well, so we don't have an issue. We had replaced the tyres. The tyres are not Michelin's, the tyres are 2CV MCC tyres. I was a wee bit kind of iffy about them to start with, but I have to say I have given this a right good hammering round the corners, and SUVs, I'm afraid, will never ever keep up with it. It's just a total impossibility. If an SUV tries to keep up with this, it'll be rolling over and it'll land up on its head. The handling and the corner in this is absolutely amazing, and it corners much flatter than a 2CV ever would, simply because it has the Ami anti-roll bar in it. So, and it is a proper Ami anti-roll bar, so it doesn't roll, but it certainly sticks to the road. We had to fit another steering wheel. Steering wheel was a bit low, and it was obscuring part of the speedo and the rev counter, but that's approximately where my head would be, so I can just about make out, well, in fact it's a bit low, that's about where my head would be there, so you can get an idea. Although there's a little bit of cut off on the gauges, there's still, I can see the 30, the 40, etc. I've done 430 miles since I picked it up in May from Annan, and since we have done all the mods to this, fitted 123 Tune Plus ignition, different advanced curve, Visa carburetor, and of course it already had the 652cc conversion. This thing is actually quite quick. The gearing is higher, obviously, with the GSA box, 5-speed. The third and fourth is definitely higher. Even second is, because it'll do about 40 in second quite happily. But third is a bit lower than the fourth with the 2CV box. It's roughly between the third and the fourth of the 2CV box, to be fair. So it's a good overtaking gear, to have to say, and will do 70 miles an hour, but at Fero RPM, just, you know. But fourth itself pulls really actually quite well. Yeah, I've had it up to about 70, maybe a wee bit more than that, but it's far too noisy, it's far too breezy, far too windy, but there was definitely more there. It'd probably do about 80, I think. I really do think it would do about 80. Fifth will now cruise along reasonably happily, so long as there's not a headwind and it's flat. It's still, and it will actually accelerate in fifth, which is actually pretty decent, to be honest. So quite happy with the gearing. So the car is running very well. I have no issues with the car whatsoever. Brakes are good. No problems with the brakes. All the brake lines are good nick. They're perfect. I've actually changed the brake fluid. Well, not the brake, the LHM. I've changed them. Changed that. It has the GSA discs on it as well, which are larger than the 2CV. Needs a wee bit more of a shove, I think, than the 2CV did, but by God, it can stop if you want it to. I've no issues with the brakes at all as well. So everything seems to work. I'm really quite happy with it. But my long-term life with this might not be that long. I do have my own health issues. Spondylosis is very annoying, and when I get cold, I get a very, very painful neck and no feeling in my hands and arms, which is actually quite horrible, and pins and needles and so on and so forth. So to be quite honest with you, I don't know how long I'll keep this, but we've got a good week coming this week. Going to be out in it this week, maybe rattle up maybe another 100 miles on it, and thereafter it will be under wraps for the winter, I would think. But we'll give it some more thought, I think, before time. Car has this got a boot. Sorry, got the Radcom magazines. These are going to a friend of mine, so that's what's in there. But it's a decent sized boot. You get quite a fair bit of stuff in there, to be honest with you, which is, it's actually quite reasonable in that respect. Good spare tyre, absolutely cracking. Unfortunately, got two different sizes of tyres. They only had two 125 by 15, so I got two 125s on the front and two 135s on the back. And the 135s, it's more like a Michelin ZX pattern rather than the X pattern. But fine. To my mind, it's not a big issue, you know. But usual Citroens, lovely soft suspension. You don't feel the bumps. It's a pleasure to drive. Steering's a bit on the heavy side. It's slightly lower than it should be. It's only really heavy when you're manoeuvring. It's fine when you're on the open road. Nice and positive now, and actually relatively light. But more manoeuvring speeds, it's heavy. But it's dead light in reverse, by the way, which I think is all down to caster angles. Kingpins are fine, a tiny bit of play in them, but they normally do have play. It's quite normal for that. I think they must have been done at some point. But I'm a regular greaser. I usually grease it every time before I go out. I know that might be a bit overkill, but that's just me as well. But that's it. That's the car, and I'm very, very happy and very pleased that it's now going the way I'd like it to. I've got this piping around here. This original stuff was not in good order. It was all rusted, like I say. But Demi was supposed to send me black, but they sent me blue. Anyway, that's fine. It looks all right. No complaints there. But aye, that's it. That's the car as it is. I'm quite happy. And if somebody does come along and say, look, how much do you want for it? Or if they're interested in it, well, I'm prepared to listen, to negotiate, and blah, blah, blah. And take anybody for a test drive. So there we go. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. And no doubt we'll have some more videos, hopefully more on amateur radio stuff shortly. Okay, bye for now. Take care and enjoy the day.